Okay, folks. Okay, so I have a question. I have a question for each and every one of you. Okay? This is the question. Did you get on an airplane, get in a car, go through great strains and strides to try to get here to advance your business? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. You are already taking action to build your business. And I want you to congratulate yourself. And I want you to congratulate your neighbor by giving everyone a high five. High fives. High fives. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate it because this is my rendition of the art of getting stuff done. And I guess I should start by saying that I have a confession for you. And here's my confession. I really do consider work to be a 4-letter word. Work? Being a 4-letter word? Well, don't you need to do work to get your action taken? And I really, really do want you to understand. I'm all about action, but not for action's sake. It's about being very smart and taking strategic action in your business. And what I'm about to do is tell you some of the ways that I do it. Is that cool with you? Yeah, happy with that? Okay. Now, David did start off by telling me, Daniel, this is a keynote. And when I looked up keynote in the dictionary, I thought, I'm supposed to be kind of entertaining and not a trainer. But I am a trainer at heart. So is it cool with you if while I'm trying to do the keynote bit of it, I actually give you some great, immediately usable content? Was that cool with you? All right, excellent. All right, so and I'll tell you some stories along the way. So essentially, what I teach and preach is to get the most benefit in everything that you do with the least amount of effort. Okay? So that means you're going to need to be smart about what you do when you do it. Okay? So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to take your idea here and move you over here. I want to shift your paradigm so that you can take actions that are calculated to bring you the most benefit, bring you the most money, while doing work that you consider fun. Okay? Fun, not work. So if you hear the word work, I want you to replace it with the word fun. Okay? No more work. Fun. Alright. So that's the first one. And I'm going to try to teach you here how to use these techniques. And there's only 4 that I'm going to endeavor to teach you. But how to use these techniques today, explain them, how to implement them, so that you can have that result. And I think that the best thing to do is just kind of tell you a little bit about myself, because again, this is a keynote. I'm supposed to be telling you stories about me. Many of you already know me, yes? Yeah. Alright, so I'll just do this very quickly. Best-selling author, speaker, publisher, nurse, attorney, a creator of a real fast brand of training products, a very, very proud daddy and happy husband. And essentially that's me. But what I want you to understand is it did not start out all rosy and peachy. I made some mistakes when I first started out in life. And the fact of the matter is that I was actually married when I was 18 years old. Married when I was 18 years old. I had my son, Anthony, who many of you know, because he runs my support desk. When I was 22, something like that. And essentially, I had no degree, no skills, no support, and I had a child. And I was actually working at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida. You know where we for Mayo Clinic? Okay. So, sorry, man. No, yeah, understand. All right. So, so I had essentially this low-paying job as a phlebotomist. Does anyone know what a phlebotomist does? It's exactly what I did. And my highest earning year was $18,000 when I left. $18,000, and I think I left. I don't remember the year. 1991. And 1991 is when I left Mayo Clinic, Jacksonville, Florida. So, a couple of really good things happened when I was at Mayo Clinic. I met my lovely wife, Lynette. She was an ICU nurse, and understand, she's a nurse, doing very, very well, and I am a lowly, okay, on the feeding chain, a lowly phlebotomist, okay, making in my best year $19,000 or $18,000 that year. Well, the fact of the matter is, I was not the best catch, okay? But I knew on my first date, literally my first day, that I was going to do whatever it took to marry this girl. That's how sure I was. That's how sure I was. And the reason that is, by the way, is, well, number one, she absolutely supported me and encouraged me in every part of what I wanted to do. My big dreams. As a matter of fact, it's a very rare event. It is my first keynote, so I thought I'd bring her into the room. Lynette, there she is. And I love you, baby. And by the way, there's my boy Jeremy as well. He's in the house. So, by the way, Jeremy's probably never heard any of this, so he's hearing it for the first time too. At any rate, I wanted to do whatever it took to catch this girl. I mean, I really wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And I also had a big dream. And I knew that if I were going to keep her and actually be able to marry her and make a life with her, that I needed to start thinking strategically about my future. Because remember, no degree, no real skill that I can market to make any real money to support a family. So I'm thinking to myself, if I want to play at a higher level, I'm going to need to up my game. Start thinking strategically about those things in my life, those decisions in my life, and start making some better decisions. And I'd always wanted to be a lawyer. Always wanted to be a lawyer. So I knew that I needed to start and finish a 4-year degree. And I'm thinking, I really need to start being smarter about this stuff. So I had heard, Chip is a lawyer, maybe he's probably heard some of this as well, but I had heard that there was a glut, imagine that, a glut of lawyers. So when maybe lawyers got out of law school, they had a hard time finding a job. And I did not want to be that person. Again, I was playing the long game now. And so I'm thinking to myself, how can I make myself rarer in the marketplace because I have to go all through 4 years of school and then 3 years of law school. By the way, Lynette supported me all the way through 4 years of school and then another 3 years of law school. We've been together a long time. And I want to thank you publicly for that, baby. It really means a lot. Okay, so I did some research, right? I did some research and found out that the rarest I could make myself and really up my game when I got out of law school was to get a dual professional degree. Because what I found was, in my research, that those folks like like CPA attorneys, doctor attorneys, pharmacist attorneys, engineer attorneys, when they got out of law school, they always had great jobs. So what I ended up doing was like, I had I needed to get a 4-year degree, so I thought I'd become a nurse attorney. I mean, I was already in the field, right? I already kind of understood what they did. So I decided to get my 4-year undergraduate degree in nursing. So in fact, today, I still have a BSN and an RN. Still hold those licenses in that. So this idea of essentially looking long-term and trying to determine how certain decisions were going to benefit me on multiple levels, okay, started to become a theme as time went by in my life. And those are what I'm going to try to teach you. Is that cool? All right? All right. All right. So let me give you some examples of how this works. When I was in law school, I was on something called Law Review. Okay? This is a scholarly, whatever, kind of a big deal for a law school student to be on Law Review. And I was given an assignment in a health law class to write a paper. And again, I want you to use that same idea, the same concept. I wrote one paper for a health law class that essentially earned me what was called an Amjur award and the highest grade in the class, got me an A in the class. I then took it and had that paper published. Same paper that I used for one thing, and I moved it over here and used it over here, and I published that paper in a peer-reviewed journal. Again, that's a big deal for a for a law student to do. Then my professor says to me, she said, you know, this is a really good paper. I think you should enter it into the health law section contest. And I said, okay, why not, right? So I put it in there, and sure enough, this thing became a published paper in the State Bar of Texas. That's where I was going to law school. Health law section. So the point I want to make to you is that when you start thinking about those actions that you take in life, it's not about busy work. It is not about being busy. It is having the most impact with whatever steps that you are taking in your business. So this, I have, one hell of a big bang for my buck, particularly for a law student. Would you not agree? To have those types of things. And that's the same essential thing that I want you to understand and apply in your own business. It's kind of like even this presentation. I'll take this presentation, and it will be used probably as a standalone product. It will probably be used as a blog post, a podcast, all of that stuff. So you're taking one action and using it in multiple ways and getting the benefit from all these multiple types of uses. Okay? All right. So again, the lesson here is to look for ways to make your effort, that is any effort that you do in your business, any effort, do quadruple, triple, or at a minimum, double duty. Okay? All right. So, that was our first big topic. Now, how many of us, by show of hands, feel overwhelmed? Overwhelmed. There's just so much information hitting us. So much that we're supposed to do, right? So much that we're supposed to learn, so much that we're supposed to implement, and it's a bit like this. It's a bit like you are this vessel, right? And this is what you're supposed to implement and learn. And you learn a little bit, right? That's good. That's good, but pretty soon, more information. And more information. And more information. And you're supposed to be implementing this, right? And it's like, well, I'm starting to get a full cup here. What do I do? But yet more and more, and pretty soon, this is you. And you waste all of this information, all this stuff where you're implementing, and nothing has any traction. Anyone relate with this? All right. So, again, let me tell you the solution that I have used in my own business to sort of mitigate this, to sort of put a harness on it and then use it in my business. But first, a drink of water. So here's the idea. You're going to hear, and I'm sure that you're going to very, very much relate to this, you're going to see things that are new, attractive. They call it the bright, shiny object syndrome. Anyone fall prey to this? Me too. Me too. Huge problem for me. So, what I've decided to do, and I have to do, this is another teeny tiny confession. There is a little kernel of discipline that's going to come into play here. But can you muster a mustard seed of discipline? Yes? I think you can. I think you can. Particularly for the payoff. So here is the plan. When you hear of something new, something shiny, that's cool. I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down, but set it aside. Because here's where it is. Right here. When you hear something that really resonates with you, whether that's article marketing, okay? Whether that's SEO, whether that's affiliate marketing, whatever it is, whatever that one thing is that most resonates with you. When I say resonate, just so that we're clear and we're communicating, I mean that thing that you could most easily see yourself putting into action and implementing. Okay? That's what I mean. I want you to commit to yourself to doing that one thing. Whatever it is. Again, maybe it's blogging. Maybe it's becoming a really, really good blogger. But learn and master that one strategy first until you have started to see some results. And then move on to the next thing. And here's the really cool thing that I've discovered. When you are feeling overwhelmed and you're not really getting any traction, then think about doing and mastering that one thing first, and when you do, the next thing, guess what? Becomes easier. And then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. So yes, it is going to take, again, a kernel of discipline to hold off on the bright, shiny new thing. Okay? And here's another phenomenon that I've discovered in implementing this in my own life. Some of the things that I hold off, they fall away. When I go back to them, first off, either they are moot, they no longer work, or, on the other hand, they're really, really good and very, very dynamic, and they pop. So, and you can tell, but by what's happening in the marketplace, kind of what you need to do next. Okay, so that's the strategy for getting over all this overwhelm and taking action on that one thing. Okay? All right, cool. Now here's another thing. Now, I am definitely not a woo-woo kind of person. However, I think that each and every one of you, have a voice that speaks to you. And I don't mean a psycho voice. I'm talking about that small, inner kind of knowing, right? You get an idea because you're silent enough to hear it. The frenetic you block out the frenetic aspects in your life such that you can hear it. And then you get what I like to call, and many people call, inspirations, right? And that's the other thing that I really want you to start tapping into. That inner voice guiding you to your next move, whatever that happens to be. And if you are still enough, if you will allow it to happen, you will hear that voice. And I say voice, but many times people describe it as a feeling, as an idea that keeps reoccurring. And if that idea keeps reoccurring over and over again, I really want you to pay very, very close attention to that. And start following it. Follow it. Does that mean that you know the entire plan of where that's going? No. Most of the times, you don't. You don't know where the plan is, or what the plan is even. But that is where you must use faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in that idea. Because most of the time, the first step, and only the first step, will be revealed to you. But when you step out and take that first step, the world opens up to you, and then the next step reveals itself. So start using the subconscious mind to get and help you take the actions that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Because again, that's really what I'm all about. And what I want to get across to you here today. And I just love, I don't know how well you could see from the back, but there's a picture of a staircase on my slide here. And it says, first step. First step. Just take, as you can see, you don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Okay? So, do that. And I guarantee you that you will have an ally in your business that if you've not ever been in touch with this, it will amaze you. Okay? It will cause wonder and wonderful things to happen, not only in your business, but in your life. Okay? And as I say here, it's about listening to that inspiration. And I love this little graphic here. Intuition is the GPS of your soul. Do you have yours turned on? So seize upon that. To take the actions that aren't busy. I want to bring this back home to taking action that gets the most bang for your buck. Right? Cool. Okay. The next big concept, if you're taking notes, big line in your notes, asterisk this, is consistency. Consistency. It's about moving the ball down the field every day. Okay? So I'm going to tell you how by the way, I am far from perfect. I am the most imperfect person in this room. By a long shot. Okay? But if you will institute what I'm about to say in your business, you will more consistently move your business, build your business, see more profit in your business, and as a result, have a more abundant life. Because really, at the core of what I try to teach and do, it's to give you the tools to help you become more of a earner so that you could have a more abundant life. Spend time with your family, okay? Or do whatever it is you want to do. So here are the mechanisms that I like to use to be consistent. It's called using a calendar. A simple calendar. Now, you say, okay, well that's easy, Daniel. You already use a calendar. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It's using it in kind of a special way. All right? Here's what I'm talking about. I want you to accomplish two things and put it on your calendar every day. First thing is something revenue generating. A revenue generating activity. It's best if whatever that revenue generating activity is actually puts money in the bank account that day. Okay? That day. So, and I have some examples here. Do you have an email promotion calendar? How many of you do? Just show of hands. Email promotion calendar. Okay, good. Well, this is going to be helpful. Or host a webinar. To my list, for example, these are mine. You fill in your blanks. It doesn't have to be this. This generates money for my business every day. But you fill in whatever's revenue generating for your business. And I do webinars for other people's lists. That's, again, revenue generating for me. The second thing that I do is I have some business building activity. Some business building activity. And for example, again for me, you fill in whatever it is for you. Maybe content creation. It may be getting heard on somebody else's podcast and doing some promotion in that way. But whatever it is, but you have one or you have two of those things on your calendar each and every day. And by the way, I want to make sure that I'm really, really, really clear on this. It doesn't have to be much. Okay? It does not have to be much. It's 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. I'm not talking about taking your whole day with this. Right? But just moving the ball a little past the scrimmage line every day, every day, every day. And guess what starts happening? What you start seeing in your business? A cumulative effect. So that when you start, again, to use the football analogy, when you start carrying the ball, instead of making it 1 inch over the line of scrimmage, some days you're going for a first down. Other days, you're going for a touchdown. And it changes day to day, but you're always moving forward. Why? It's so important. Because if you're not moving forward, you're moving back. Nothing stands still. So use that technique. I guarantee you, if there's one big takeaway from today's presentation, it's this one. Start the calendar, put those two things on it every day, and live it. Okay? And live it. All right. So, to review, these are the 4 main concepts. Number 1, you want to quadruple, okay, if possible, benefit from the same action. Right? So if you analyze it, be critical about the actions you're going to take to measure them against this thought. Can I get at least double duty? Can I get at least double benefit out of that one action? If so, it's good to go. Right? It's good to go. Second, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. You master that one thing, you start seeing benefits from that thing, then, and only then, you move on. Third, listen to your inner voice. Okay? Listen to that small feeling in the panza of your gut and act upon it. Particularly, again, when it's recurring. Hear it again. How many of you experience this? Show of hands. It's that same doggone idea. You cannot avoid it. It just keeps popping back. Don't ignore that. Don't ignore it. And then be consistent. Be consistent and use the calendar with those 2 major events every day to move the ball down the field. Okay, so let me ask you, show of hands, are you convinced that these 4 ideas would help your business, like right now? Show of hands. Okay, cool. So, question for you. Putting your money where your mouth is. Are you willing to commit to doing these things? Are you willing to commit? Okay, cool. So, guess what? I want everyone to stand. Everyone to stand. Because we are going to commit to ourselves. I want you to put your hand over your heart. Okay? Here we go. And by the way, I'm dead serious that this is a commitment to yourself. If you are not willing to commit to yourself, there is the door. Really. I want this time not to be wasted. I don't want this to just be entertainment for you. Okay? Here it is. I, say your name. I knew I'd have some smart asses in this room. Make this solemn commitment to myself. That I will look for ways to take strategic action that benefits me in multiple ways.
I will look for ways to take strategic action that benefits me in multiple ways.
That I will focus on one business building thing at a time and not allow myself to be overwhelmed.
I will focus on one business building thing at a time and not allow myself to be overwhelmed.
That I will pay attention to my inspirations and have the faith to follow them.
That I will pay attention to my inspirations and have the faith to follow them.
That I will be consistent in advancing my business. Every day, with at least one revenue generating activity and one business building activity.
With at least one revenue generating activity and one business building activity.
Do you so commit? Say yes. My work here is done. Thank you very much.